Have you ever walked into a room and noticed that one person, the one who isn't even speaking yet, somehow commands the most respect?
It's not because they're the loudest, and it's certainly not because they're bragging. It's actually the opposite.
There's a specific, almost magnetic quality to them that signals high status without them having to say a single word. Most people spend their entire lives chasing validation, trying to convince the world that they matter. But true value isn't something you shout, it's something you project. It's in the things you don't do. It brings us to this paradox where the harder you try to impress people, the less impressed they actually are.
Think about the last time you saw someone trying too hard, laughing a little too loud at a joke that wasn't funny,
or rushing to fill every awkward silence with nervous chatter. It feels heavy, doesn't it? It feels needy.
And neediness is the ultimate value killer. But when you flip that script, when you start embodying these silent behaviors that scream self-assurance, the dynamic shifts instantly. You stop chasing respect and you start attracting it. One of the most immediate ways this shows up is in your relationship with silence. It sounds simple, but pay attention to how rare it actually is. Most of us are terrified of the pause. We ask a question, and if the other person doesn't answer within half a second, or we make a self-deprecating joke just to ease the tension. But when you are secure in your value, you become incredibly comfortable with the space between words. You ask a question, and you just wait. You hold the eye contact, and you let the silence do the heavy lifting. It signals that you aren't desperate for the interaction to go a certain way, you're just present. You're comfortable in your own skin. That distinct pause before you reply to someone conveys that you are thinking, that you are considering your words, rather than just reacting on autopilot. It turns a conversation from a frantic exchange of information into a deliberate interaction. There is a massive difference between listening and just waiting for your turn to speak. We can all feel the difference. When you're talking to someone low value, you can see their eyes darting around, or you can see them formulating their next sentence while you're still talking. They aren't with you, they're performing. But a high-value individual offers the gift of total, undivided focus. It's almost startling how powerful it feels to be truly listened to. By giving someone your complete attention, not checking your phone, not scanning the room, you are silently communicating that you have nothing to prove. You don't need to hijack the conversation to look smart. You are confident enough to let the spotlight shine on them. You don't need to hijack the conversation to look smart. You are confident enough to let the spotlight shine on them. But remaining calm in a conversation is one thing. Remaining calm in the face of chaos is entirely different, and that's where the real test lies.
We live in a world that is addicted to outrage and reaction.
If someone cuts you off in traffic, or a coworker sends a passive-aggressive email, or things just don't go your way, the default human response is to explode or to crumble. It's reactive. If you want to instantly raise your value, you have to master the gap between the stimulus and your response. Or a crisis, and just breathe. You don't match the chaotic energy of the room. You become the rock that the waves break against. When everyone else is losing their heads and you remain grounded, you become the leader by default. It shows that you have an internal anchor, a frame of reality that is stronger than whatever's happening around you. Now, you can't fake that kind of stability. You can't just pretend to be unshakable if, deep down, you don't trust yourself. And this is where the work happens in the dark. The most potent form of value is the integrity you keep when no one is watching. It's about keeping the small promises you make to yourself. If you say you're going to get up at 6 a.m. and you hit snooze until 700, you have just signaled to your subconscious that your word means nothing. That creates a subtle background hum of insecurity that follows you everywhere. But when you follow through, when you do the workout, when you finish the project, when you stick to your standards simply because you said you would, you build a reservoir of self-respect. People can sense this. They might not know what you did that morning, but they can feel the lack of desperation in your aura. Because you don't need their validation, you've already validated yourself through your actions. Once you have that self-respect, you start treating your time differently, and this changes how accessible you are. There's a misconception that being high value means playing hard to get, but that's a game. Games are for children. This is about being hard to get because you are genuinely busy building a life you love. You stop being perpetually available. You stop saying yes to every invite, every favor, and every distraction out of a fear of missing out or a fear of disappointing people. When you are always available, your time is perceived as cheap. But when you gatekeep your energy, when you protect your focus because you have a mission that is more important than happy hour, people start to value the time they do get with you. It's the law of scarcity. You're not being rude, you're just prioritized. You answer texts when you're free, not the second they pop up. You commit to plans selectively.
This silent boundary tells the world that you are the main character in your own movie, not a supporting actor in theirs.
And really, all of this culminates in the ultimate silent power move, the willingness to walk away. This is the superpower of negotiation, relationships, and life in general. The moment you feel you need something, whether it's a job, a partner, or a deal, you have lost your leverage. You've handed over your power. But there is a terrifyingly attractive freedom in being able to say, I want this, but I don't need it. It's a detachment from the outcome. If a situation violates your values, or if a deal isn't right, or if a relationship has become toxic, the high-value individual doesn't beg or bargain. They just pack up their energy and leave. It's not done with anger, it's done with resolve.
This willingness to walk away signals that your standards are non-negotiable. It tells the world that you would rather be alone than compromise who you are.
And the paradox, of course, is that when you are willing to walk away, people will usually run to keep you. Raising your value isn't about learning a bunch of pickup lines or buying a more expensive watch. It's about stripping away the noise, the insecurity, and the neediness, and settling into a quiet, unshakable confidence. It's about becoming the kind of person who doesn't need to tell people they are high value, because the evidence is in every silence, every action, and every boundary.
So, here is what I want you to do this week. Don't try to do all of this at once. Just pick one.
Maybe it's the silence. Maybe it's the non-reactivity. Pick one and practice it consciously for the next few days. Watch how people's reactions to you change. Watch how you feel about yourself change. I'm curious, which one of these silent habits do you struggle with the most? Is it the fear of silence? Is it the need to say yes to everyone? Let me know in the comments below. I read through them, and I'd love to hear your take. And if you found value in this, if it sparked something in you, make sure you're subscribed so we can keep building this mindset together. I'll see you in the next one.